Hello world, welcome to another episode of Cyber Route. And in today's episode, it's not just a normal cyber breach. This is a real life incident between Akira Ransomware and Architect West. So this episode will be broken down into 5 different scenes. So walk with me. Now picture this. On January 22nd, 2025, at exactly 4:28 a.m., Architect West, a prominent architectural firm known for sculpting the skyline with innovation, wakes up to find their digital blueprints and digital heartbeats encrypted. Now, this is not just your conventional malware. This is Akira Ransomware, a sophisticated cyber extortionist demanding a king's ransom in cryptocurrency in return for what rightfully belongs to the architects. Ransomware, for those new to this digital battlefield, is a type of malicious software that encrypts your data, rendering it inaccessible. Then the attacker demands for a payment, typically in Bitcoin or any other untraceable cryptocurrency, in order to provide the decryption key. Akira Ransomware, as I said earlier, is not just any type of ransomware. It is the latest evolution with enhanced encryption methods that makes your data as readable as hieroglyphics without the Rosetta Stone, if you know what I mean. The loophole in Architect West's defense is not as huge as you might have imagined, funny enough. It is just a specific vulnerability in their network security. This particular vulnerability is known in the cybersecurity realm as CVE 2023-20269, and this particular vulnerability affects Cisco's VPNs and is a critical component in managing secure network access. So these are the specific loopholes that might have enabled the attackers to gain access into Architect West's defense. 1. Unpatched Cisco's VPN vulnerability. This particular flaw vulnerability allows unauthorized remote attackers to conduct brute force attacks against existing accounts if the multi-factor authentication has not been enabled. And here's how it unfolds. Brute force attacks, it is basically a digital guessing game that uses automated tool to try numerous password combinations until they get the correct one. Now, without multi-factor authentication, once the attacker gets the correct password, they gain access into your system. Second is lack of MFA. Now, if multi-factor authentication is enabled, it requires not just your password, but other forms of verification, such as text message codes or biometrics, which involves your fingerprint, your iris, and the rest, making brute force attacks exponentially harder. Architect West, on the other hand, perhaps due to oversight or user convenience or underestimation of the threat, did not have all these safeguards enabled. This was how the exploitation process took place. First was lateral movement. Once the attackers gained access into Architect West network, they employed a lateral movement technique, which means they navigated through their network, escalating their privileges to admin, moving from one system to another, silently like digital ninjas. Second is disabling security software. The attackers will likely disable or evade detection by using the firm's security software. This allows them to install ransomware without immediate detection. Next is data exfiltration. Before the attackers deploy the ransomware, they often exfiltrate data. These steps involves copying sensitive information into their control. This provides them leverage through a double extortion strategy. This means Architect West will have to pay to decrypt the data and also pay not to allow the sensitive information to be leaked. You might be wondering how and why this loophole was exploitable. Well, there are 3 possibilities. First, delayed patching. This vulnerability might not have been patched on time. Patching involves updating a software to fix security loopholes. This process could be delayed due to several reasons, which involves testing requirements or system downtime concerns, or simply because they were unaware of the criticality of this patch. Second is complexity of network management. Managing security, especially in a firm this big, dealing with large-scale projects, can be complex. Overlooking one aspect can lead to significant breaches. We also have the human elements. Perhaps the IT team was not fully apprised of the severity of this vulnerability, or they underestimated the speed at which such vulnerabilities could be exploited. The immediate aftermath, well, we have chaos, blueprints, client information, financial records, all locked behind an encryption wall. The firm's operation screeched to a halt. I believe this is where the term business disruption comes into play, because every minute of downtime leads to lost revenue, delayed projects, and a tarnished reputation. The attackers have pried open a window of opportunity for extortion. But all is not lost. Architect West, now in crisis mode, engages in incident response plan, which involves isolating the affected systems, assessing the damages, and restoring from backups. That is, if they've been diligent enough to have them. If not, they face the moral dilemma, which is to pay the ransom or start from scratch. And paying the ransom is a gamble because they are not guaranteed if the attackers would honor their word, and it could lead to future attacks because you've been branded as easy targets. Let's talk about decryption. If they don't pay, the only other routes they have is to decrypt the data. This might involve law enforcement, who could have access to the decryption tool or keys from previous ransomware attacks. Or they could also hire cybersecurity experts to reverse engineer the ransomware's code. But time is not on their side, and every second counts when your business lifeblood is locked away. This our tale does not have a definitive end yet. Architect West still stands at a crossroads whether to pay or not to pay. So I'd like to hear from you in the comment section. What do you think? Should they pay or not? And tell me your reason why. So this is the moral of the story. This incident at Architect West underscores the necessity for timely patching, which means you have to always update your system, your software, and all digital devices. Next is implementation of MFA. Ensure you have more than one form of verification across your digital devices. Lastly is constant vigilance. In the cyber realm, they say that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and in this case, the weakest link was an unguarded, unpatched VPN access point. So remember, in cybersecurity, it's not about if an attack will happen, but when. So always prepare, patch, and protect. Keep your guard up, and always stay secured and informed, because in this cyberspace, every day is a battle. Until next time, peace.